What do Raven-Symoné and Tom Cruise have in common? Apparently, they both like to eat a part of the female body that nobody else wants to talk about. That would be the placenta. I know it's a little bit of a weird topic, but we're going to talk about it simply because Hollywood has been trying to push all of the weird, crazy, kooky things on people as normal in an effort to normalize another type of behavior that they don't seem to think people understand or know that they do. So we're going to get into this interview. It is a couple of years old, yes. That does not remove the necessity for us to cover it because it is happening today. It is not past. It is not something that they stopped doing. They're still doing it. And not only that, they're pushing to normalize this behavior for another reason. I can't really say the exact terminology on here, but I think you all understand when I say it has to do with the minors in our society. You will get it once you hear them speak. Tom Cruise was known for this particular thing when he went on a rant on, I think it was Oprah. And I think it was the same one where he was jumping up and down on the couch. And he even said it that he was ready to consume that particular part of Katie Holmes when they had their child. And it has since then become a sort of a mainstay with these people in concept. However, medical science has not really pushed the benefits of this. In fact, they have said the opposite, that it can indeed do damage to not just the mother, but also to the child through breastfeeding. So I'm not sure where they got this idea, but I think we all know where they might have gotten this idea. And it was, of course, to try and push the consumption of humans. We'll see what you understand. We're going to respond to this video. It is a two-parter, one where she's talking about that, and we'll also get into how it's procured. And then the second part is a statement made by, and it is Howie Mandel, too, in the interviewing, about another female operation that happens every month and what happens with that particular outcome that has been used in certain foods. And I'm not joking. It's what they say. This is what they say they've done. So I'll let them, we'll respond to it. Here we go.
So I'm in her kitchen. I'm like, what is this? She was like, oh, that's a placenta dehydrator. I said, a what?
A what?
A placenta dehydrator.
In the kitchen?
In the kitchen. She was living by herself at the time. So she takes the
She should be.
placenta from the woman, dehydrates it, and puts it into pill capsules so that the mother can ingest her placenta like every other animal on this planet does, except for humans.
Now, hear me out. In the other part of the interview, she then goes on to say how the person procures that. She goes to certain facilities and purchases thrown out placentas. Now, I don't even know what the legality of that is, however, but that's what she does. She goes, gets them, brings them back home, not hers, obviously, because she doesn't, they're gay, so they're not having kids that way, and then goes about to dehydrate and consume. The difference is that with Tom Cruise, he did it a much different way where he just dehydrates it itself and consumes it like that. And this is where it takes a little bit of a awkward turn in the dialogue.
That I'm very healthy. I'm very nutritious. My hair has been growing amazingly.
Wait, and you said that you have. Did you fall in love right away? And was it the pasta?
Now, terminology matters. We all know that they use certain terms in certain ways to describe certain things. We all knew about this, right? We knew about when the FBI came out with their list and their terms. We all know what they mean when they say certain things, including terms like that one and the other one being hot dogs. Okay. I don't need to elaborate that. I think we're all kind of on the same page when okay, cool. The next phase of the questioning comes in around the idea of that monthly thing that we talked about. It is not also far-fetched to understand that they use it in terms of the placenta and other things on skin. You know what I'm saying? So again, how they do it, unknown. What they do to get it, unknown. Legalities of it. Let's just say this. As far as legally from the government side, the sale and the use of human organs, including the placenta, has not been legal since 1984. Including the commercial transactions of it. That would be illegal, unless, of course, under some shady rule, they've found a way to get through it. But that was under the National Organ Transplant Act of 1984. So I'm not quite sure how she's going out to procure these. Y'all can figure that part out. I'm sure there are ways that she does it without it being purchased. Let's put it like that. But like again, Tom Cruise is doing it with his wife after they've had kids. Again, that part of it may not be I don't even know about the legality of that either, but it's hers. So I'm not quite sure how that works out. I'm sure she can say, I want to take it. Anyway, I'm not going to go into too much detail about it, but the next phase of their questioning comes in with this idea of pasta. And they're going to link a certain thing with this pasta. And when you hear it, I think you'll understand where we're going to go with the rest of this video.
Maybe.
Honestly, she makes the most amazing tomato sauce because she's Italian.
Yeah.
But she would never do anything to me, you guys.
Really?
No, I don't
Was
know.
it a heavy day?
Can you imagine? She's like, I put extra
Do you
onions
only
in it.
have pasta once a month?
So here's the thing. Have you ever put your own personal menstrual blood into
Pasta sauce.
Pasta sauce?
That is the way that I got Raven to fall in love with me.
Breaking news.
I never thought anyone would ever ask me that question.
So yeah. The thing about this whole situation is this, right? While it might be an older video, a couple of years, the concept has been kind of being pushed forward and foisted on us in other arenas. It may not necessarily be between two individuals that are sharing a meal. But now we have to wonder about whether or not that's been introduced into people in a different way. The ideology behind it is quite interesting because it does indeed link to a little bit of a ritualistic thing as well. I think they go into that.
So just to digress for a minute, Jackie here brought up a few episodes back that there was this woman online who believes that the nutrition in the menstrual blood is really good for your skin. And so she applies it.
Yeah.
Yeah? Is that an agreement?
I've heard that, but there's also.
Is that also in your wife's kitchen?
No.
Okay, good.
Acceptable. No, but
no problem consuming. The rubbing on the skin, and like I'm supposed to believe that's where you draw the line. Okay.
I heard in some men's and some other kitchens, women put their blood in tomato sauce to make men fall in love with them, but that's like a voodoo, like old school type of way.
I haven't heard that. That's amazing.
What Kyle's
nodding his
yes.
head.
Why are you nodding yes?
I've heard that lore.
Now, when you listen to this kind of information, it makes you start to wonder. What exactly have they been pushing on the American public, and have they been talking about this in public without us knowing out loud? We have heard of Sandra Bullock talking about using certain body parts from certain small people for skincare. So did Steve Harvey, Oprah. All of them have actually done this exact same thing, and it may not necessarily be with the particular blood type that they're talking about in this interview. But it's always been linked to using some sort of human part to do something to enhance, either reduce your aging, make you feel better. They always put it under that guise. But why are they always so literally hell-bent on trying to push the consumption of humans? For whatever reasons they have to do it, they do it. Whether you want to chalk it up to ritualistic, Satanism, or whatever, they already admit that's what they do. Why would we be surprised then if they're enacting certain things in order to fulfill an agenda that they personally believe and spiritually believe will help them in their journey? We all know that the other guy downstairs does his own type of blessing too. He'll give you stuff. I mean, when it comes to the cost of your soul, but he'll give you stuff. So this is not far-fetched or an antithetical to the way they think. The problem is that a lot of people will look at it and think, oh, yeah, that makes sense because now I have better skin. I got better hair. I can make somebody fall in love with me. They sell it really good. Even when Tom Cruise did it, jumping up on the couch and he was excited about this, and it shows love for his wife. They will always try to sell it to you under the guise of something good, but the end of it is always something nefarious. For as often as they say it, We just can't seem to understand that they're doing it in front of us, and we may not even realize we're buying into the logic that they have. Raven-Symoné's been kind of up and down, and some people have seen her as a victim, and some people see her as a person that is pushing the agenda. As far as we can see, she's both. She may have been a victim as a child, but as she got older, she became a part of the problem and now is actively pushing the problem. She became one of the regulars that do the same thing that she said was bad for her, but not when she does it. This is an ongoing theme. This is something that will always be perpetuated amongst the elites, whether we want to admit it or not, whatever you want to call it, whether you chalk it up to mental disorder or Satan worship, the end goal is still the same. Bring people down a path that they cannot return from easily. The question now remains is, are we going to stand in the gap for the next generation and keep them from this nonsense by keeping them on the straight and narrow? That question can only be answered by the people who have young ones and decide for themselves whether or not they're going to give into this agenda. We just request that you don't, but at the end of the day, it is always up to you.